A massive crescendo on only night 2 of the Democratic National Convention. Former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama bringing down the House in their hometown. As Americans fell in love with the world's biggest mensch, Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff. Welcome to the No Spin Zone. Graph's Grievances starts right now. Traditionally, organizers save the most powerful orators for the final nights of the convention, but not Democrats. On just night 2 of their convention, Democrats calling upon former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama to excite Americans and urge them to vote for Vice President Kamala Harris this fall. And as expected, the powerhouse couple not only bringing down the House, but reminding everyone that they remain the best public speakers on planet Earth.
Something wonderfully magical is in the air, isn't it? Yeah. You know, we're feeling it here in this arena, but it's spreading all across this country we love. A familiar feeling that's been buried too deep for far too long. You know what I'm talking about. It's the contagious power of hope. The anticipation, the energy, the exhilaration of once again being on the cusp of a brighter day. The chance to vanquish the demons of fear, division, and hate that have consumed us and continue pursuing the unfinished promise of this great nation, the dream that our parents and grandparents fought and died and sacrificed for. America, hope is making a comeback.
The former First Lady hearkening back to her husband's campaign of hope and change before pivoting to talking about why Kamala Harris is the rightful inheritor of that movement.
Kamala Harris is more than ready for this moment. She is one of the most qualified people ever to seek the office of the presidency. And she is one of the most dignified. A tribute to her mother, to my mother, and to your mother too. The embodiment of the stories we tell ourselves about this country. Her story is your story. It's my story. It's the story of the vast majority of Americans trying to build a better life. Look, Kamala knows, like we do, that regardless of where you come from, what you look like, who you love, how you worship, or what's in your bank account, we all deserve the opportunity to build a decent life. All of our contributions deserve to be accepted and valued, because no one has a monopoly on what it means to be an American. No one.
Obama then parting with her famous aphorism, "When they go low, we go high," to tear into Donald Trump.
She understands that most of us will never be afforded the grace of failing forward. We will never benefit from the affirmative action of generational wealth. If we bankrupt a business or choke in a crisis, we don't get a second, third, or fourth chance. If things don't go our way, we don't have the luxury of whining or cheating others to get further ahead. No. We don't get to change the rules so we always win. Now, unfortunately, we know what comes next. We know folks are going to do everything they can to distort her truth. My husband and I sadly know a little something about this. For years, Donald Trump did everything in his power to try to make people fear us. See, his limited, narrow view of the world made him feel threatened by the existence of two hardworking, highly educated, successful people who happen to be black. Who's going to tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs?
Yes, Michelle Obama comparing Trump to a petulant child and reminding the world that her success and her husband's success is not because they are black, but because they work hard and are highly educated and never give up. The former First Lady then making this final plea to voters.
Look, I don't care how you identify politically, whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, or none of the above. This is our time to stand up for what we know in our hearts is right. We have the power to pay forward the love, sweat, and sacrifice of our mothers and fathers and all those who came before us. We did it before, y'all, and we sure can do it again. Let us work like our lives depend on it. And let us keep moving our country forward and go higher, yes, always higher than we've ever gone before as we elect the next President and Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Thank you all.
And with that rapturous speech, it was time for the keynote of the night, delivered by Michelle's husband, former President Barack Obama.
I'm feeling hopeful because this convention has always been pretty good to kids with funny names who believe in a country where anything is possible. Because we have a chance to elect someone who has spent her entire life trying to give people the same chances America gave her. Someone who sees you and hears you and will get up every single day and fight for you. The next President of the United States of America, Kamala Harris.
The former president looking mighty fine, thanking Democrats for the faith they placed in him, and celebrating the party has once again chosen a nominee with a unique name who believes in fighting for all Americans. Obama then thanking his former vice president and current president of the United States, Joe Biden.
At a time when the other party had turned into a cult of personality, we needed a leader who was steady and brought people together and was selfless enough to do the rarest thing there is in politics, putting his own ambition aside for the sake of the country. History will remember Joe Biden as an outstanding president who defended democracy at a moment of great danger. And I am proud to call him my president, but I am even prouder to call him my friend.
And there is no disputing that Joe Biden will go down in history as an amazing president who always put country first. But as Obama said next, the torch has now been passed, and everyone must fight to help Harris win. Because despite all the energy behind her, this election will be close, and Trump presents an existential threat.
It has been a constant stream of gripes and grievances that's actually been getting worse now that he's afraid of losing to Kamala. There's the childish nicknames, the crazy conspiracy theories, this weird obsession with crowd sizes.
Yes, buttoned-up Barack Obama eviscerating Donald Trump, suggesting that Trump's obsession with crowd size might have to do with Trump's small anatomy. The biggest laugh of the night coming before Obama made this final appeal.
America's ready for a new chapter. America's ready for a better story. We are ready for a President Kamala Harris.
Obama delivering that rousing address 20 years after making his first appearance at a Democratic National Convention that would propel him to the presidency. Before the Obama's Power Hour, America's first second gentleman, Douglas Emhoff, was reintroduced to the American people by his son, Cole.
This is my dad, Doug. He was raised in Jersey and moved to LA when he was 16. These are his parents, Barb and Mike. They think he walks on water. This is what he wore to his bar mitzvah. And here's him at summer camp. They voted him most athletic, so he says. This is a photo McDonald's used when he was Employee of the Month. It hung on our wall for years. My dad is a lawyer. A really good one. My mom called him the crisis guy because he was everyone's first call. My parents split when I was in middle school, and that wasn't easy. That's not easy for any kid. But it helped that my parents stayed friends, and we all kept hanging together. We grew closer than ever. And then he met Kamala, the blind date that would dramatically change all of our lives forever. It was my senior year of high school. Elle and I would laugh watching them fall in love, acting like teenagers. In 2014, Kamala became Mamala. She took over Sunday night dinners and taught Doug how to actually cook. Our blended family wasn't used to politics or the spotlight, but when Kamala became senator, we were all excited to step up, especially my dad. Then Kamala became vice president. It felt like Doug was a bit out of place on Capitol Hill. I thought, what is my goofy dad doing here? But he embraced it. He left his practice after being a lawyer for 30 years. That was tough. I was so proud to watch him do it, to stand by her side, an example of true partnership. I just got married myself, and he's inspired me as a new husband. Anyone who really gets close to him knows he's kind, loving, and fiercely protective. I mean, just look at this face. This is my dad, the first second gentleman in the history of this nation.
And if that doesn't make you cry, I don't know what would. But that video was produced by Emhoff's ex-wife, Kirsten Emhoff, who is a proud supporter of Emhoff's second wife, Vice President Kamala Harris. The first second gentleman next taking to the stage to recount how he met his wife, the Vice President. Emhoff humanizing the most powerful woman in the world, but also emphasizing there is no one tougher than her.
Kamala is as tough as it comes. Just ask the criminals, the global gangsters, and the witnesses before the Senate Judiciary Committee. She never runs from a fight. And she knows the best way to deal with a coward is to take him head on. Because we all know cowards are weak, and Kamala Harris can smell weakness. She doesn't tolerate any BS. You've all seen that look, and you know that look I'm talking about. That look is not just a meme. It reflects her true belief in honest and direct leadership. And it's also why she will not be distracted by nonsense.
Emhoff's love for his wife, the Vice President, not only palpable, but epitomizing what it means to be a supportive spouse. Tonight, former President Bill Clinton taking to the convention stage along with Vice Presidential nominee, Governor Coach Tim Walz. Stay with us for daily coverage of all the action out of the DNC. Thank you so much for watching Kraft's Grievances. Let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, share, and join me tomorrow for more.